Sometimes, if you listen really hard, you can almost hear it.
Our first ever instant star is...
You're it, girl. You're the real thing.
That moment your life changes.
It's about a girl who is just about to fly off and see the world.
Forever.
Jude Harrison!
Hello and welcome to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. We are here today to recap the second season 3 mini called I'm a Degrassi, I'm an Instant Star. And the description for this mini is it's Degrassi versus Instant Star. So, just for the people listening, Chloe, me, I've never watched Degrassi ever. I don't know anything about it. All I know is that at some point, Drake was in it, and Alex at some point sang the theme song. That's all I know. And I know that it's set in a high school. That's it. So when I watched this mini, I grasped nothing about it. So Sam is going to run with this because she's going to educate me.
And Tyler sang the theme song at 1.2. Don't
cool.
ask me what season. I can't remember. Tyler's been in it a couple of times too, but as a musical guest.
Maybe I'll watch it.
Huh?
Maybe I'll watch it at some point.
Yeah, I hope you have about 4 years of your life to waste.
Oh.
I have watched Degrassi. Okay, let me clarify. I've watched Degrassi The Next Generation.
Okay.
I watched all 14 seasons of that.
There's 14 seasons?
14 seasons. And I know the later seasons, I think starting at season 10, have 42 episodes each.
Even ER only had 10 seasons. Wait,
yeah.
No. First, Friends had 10 seasons, ER had more. But anyway.
Yeah. And then on Netflix, there's 3 or 4 seasons of something called Degrassi The Next Class, and I watched all of those. I have not watched Degrassi Kids, Degrassi Junior High, or Degrassi High.
Jeez, that's a lot of content.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll skip it.
Yeah. I can send you web pages with all the
Jeez.
to know. In hindsight, though, my aunt did watch Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High.
Fair enough.
So I got all the basic need to know from her on that, on your generation. So the mini recap is basically set up like an old Apple commercial where it was, I don't know if you remember the Apple computers that had like the colors, like the pink ones, the blue ones, the yellow ones. Everybody was either an Apple, well, they were a Mac, or they were PC. I always wanted to be a Mac. I was only a Mac in school.
I was only ever a PC. Macs were too expensive.
Yes, exactly. Well, I was not a Mac at home. And then, so there was a Degrassi who was Emma, my favorite. Very, very toxic. Very, very high school drama.
Are there similarities between her and Jude? Is that why they chose her?
Emma had a high dramatic life. She her biological dad was not in her life. Her dad and her mom were from the earlier generations. Spike and Shane. Her mom was in the Next Generation. About half of the episodes. She was kind of, in the earlier seasons, she was kind of the one that plot lines revolved around because Spike had gotten pregnant with Emma in junior high, and so Emma was the connecting from the junior high and high school days to the next generation. She was literally the next generation.
Okay.
Um, so the young guard, the star female. But like you said, we did have Aubrey Graham, who later became Drake. I still only call him Drake when I hear his songs come on because he will always be Aubrey Graham.
It's crazy how a Canadian actor from Instant Star, particularly with his guest star, where Instant Star was a small show, really, by comparison to some things. Someone like him, and Degrassi, I think it was a lot bigger than Instant Star, but compared to like Friends or Gilmore Girls, it was small. How someone from a relatively small show like that can become Drake. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and like even Degrassi had, I don't know if you've ever watched Vampire Diaries.
I haven't, no, sorry.
Breaks my heart.
I'm a
But
Buffy girl.
Nina Dobrev,
Oh, yeah.
or Sean Wright's fiance, as a lot of people know her, started on Degrassi.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But they've done that. There's been a few actors that have started on Degrassi and came to the States and got a bigger role, or bigger. I mean, not so many as Drake, but so. Uh, so anyway, Emma and Jude come out. They kind of compare their high school situations, their plot lines. Emma names some key points that have happened to her on Degrassi, like, well, I guess Jude names them things that have happened to Emma, and Emma names things that have happened to Jude, like the STDs of now. In season 4 of Degrassi, Emma had contracted gonorrhea.
When they said STDs of the mouse, I was like, what?
Yeah, Emma had gone down on her ex-boyfriend's best friend in a van in the ravine after a school shooting, and her ex-boyfriend took off to live with his mom and dad for a couple years.
Well, there you go.
I mean, it's a good show. There's a lot of drama. I mean,
Is it like
I
One Tree Hill-esque drama? Because that's like high school.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, very One Tree Hill S drama. I personally love the part where they said the love triangles within love triangles, and they brought out Jude. They brought out Jamie and Tommy.
Yeah.
And then the guys that they brought out for Emma, Derek, and the African American was Danny. And the funny thing about Danny was, even though the two guys that they brought out for Emma were kind of like dorky and funny looking and supposed to not be like cute, Danny turned into and ended up being one of the heartthrobs that came out of the Degrassi.
That's interesting because Jamie used to be dorky too, but was it this?
Yes, no. Yes. So that was another comparison. That one of each of the guys were kind of the dorky sidekick friends and turned into one of the good-looking guys.
I love that. That's interesting. So you can provide all the context.
Sean. Although I do miss my Sean. Sean was my favorite. And Sean was Emma's true epic love. I don't want to hear it from anybody who didn't ship Emma and Sean. I will fight you for as long as it takes. I will die on the Emma and Sean hill. Spin on my ass.
Well, I'm the same with Jude and Tommy, so.
Yes. As for What I think it means, I think it's we're going to see a lot more of Karma and Jude being compared to each other
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I also think
because
that while it doesn't
go
mean a
ahead.
lot for the episode, I think that obviously for this mini, it was meant to promote Instant Star and Degrassi because
Mm-hmm.
interestingly, it's this mini is on the Degrassi YouTube page, even now.
Yes.
It's not even on the Instant
Yeah.
Star YouTube page, but it's on the Degrassi one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yeah,
they're
I
also
know
meant to cross
when.
promote each other.
Yeah, because when I was looking it up on YouTube to find it, it popped up on the Degrassi YouTube page too.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, it came up for me as a Degrassi mini, not an Instant Star mini.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't even know Degrassi had minis. That's cool.
Yeah. So I think it was meant for the cross promotion. And since they were both Steven and Linda shows,
Yeah.
that would make sense that they would do cross promotion. And I'm trying to think, 2007, Degrassi would have been in its fifth or sixth season, probably, maybe seven. So it would have been in one of its. It would have been on its climb up in popularity. Um, Same with Instant Star, it would have been hitting its peak, so they would want to get promotion for both to keep going. Um,
What a
and
time to
why
be
not?
alive. Like, that was peak kind of TV show.
Yes.
They would film cool things like the minis, and with Instant Star, you also had the behind the scenes videos that they were releasing at this point as
Mm-hmm.
well. I don't know, like, they don't really do that now for TV shows. It's not really.
Not really. And I feel like I feel like then with the behind the scenes, because Degrassi did that too with the behind the scenes. And like, Degrassi had the DegrassiWeb.com. And I just felt like you had this, because social media wasn't really a thing yet. MySpace had ended,
Yeah.
but I think you had to be in college to be on Facebook still.
Yeah. I had
So
Facebook, but
social
like, no one used it. It was so weird.
Yeah. So social media wasn't really a thing. You had like YouTube and websites.
And
But I
you
felt
would
like you
have
had.
you would have like so like the N had a whole Instant Star page, but it felt like you were in the world of Instant Star when you were on that page.
Yes.
It was so cool.
Yeah, like I felt like you had so much connection with the actors and with like other people.
And you had the fan forums. Like, do you remember Dirty Little Secret, that fan forum?
Oh my gosh, I love Dirty Little
I don't
Secret.
think it exists anymore, but people would post pictures from Instant Star and they would ship characters and in some cases actors together. And
Yeah.
was it just Instant Star or was it for other shows too? I think it was just
I know it was for Instant Star. Was it for other
I think it was just
shows?
Instant Star. I'm
I
pretty sure.
think it was just Instant Star.
It was so cool. And people would discuss, the storylines and everything. I guess nowadays you have Reddit pages for stuff like that, but it's not really the
Mm.
same.
No, it's like, I mean, I remember like on Friday nights, I would jump on after my shows went off and spend hours online just
Same.
talking and posting and talking and posting. And it would be like midnight, and my parents would be like, Sam, are you going to bed?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a minute. And then it would be like 2 in the morning. Samantha, go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay, in a minute. And then finally, you have got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to
You really
bed.
got like the die-hard fans back then. Like that's how we met through YouTube videos of Instant Star. Like
Yeah.
people do still make fan videos of certain TV shows now, but again, it's not the same because of all the copyright stuff. You can't do it as much. Back then, it was just a free-for-all.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, social media is great, but I've recently deactivated mine.
Oh, you have? I didn't notice. I'm sorry. I'm a bad
Well,
friend.
well, I deactivated one of them. And I almost feel like freer
Yeah.
because I'm not constantly pulling it up and having to scroll it and keep up with everybody. And I'm like, I have what I have to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I have my texting and whatever else I need. I still have what I need to talk to who matters.
Yeah.
I don't need a Facebook Instagram or whatever to talk to people that don't really matter.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just time consuming and like mindlessly scrolling.
And I feel like when you watch things like these minis, it takes you back to that freer, arguably better time of the internet where
Yeah.
your favorite TV shows did make these minis and they were funny and cool and you didn't read too much into everything. It was just, I don't know, it's
Like
nice to go back to that time by watching them.
yeah, like when you got online, you were getting online for a specific purpose. You were going to a certain website because you wanted to be active in that community.
Yeah.
You weren't getting on to go mindlessly look.
Yeah. And there weren't filters on everything and
Yeah.
it was just a better time, maybe not to get downery on everyone, but
Yeah.
watching these minis kind of reminds you of that time. That makes me sound so ancient, but it does. Like you didn't have TikTok. TikTok wasn't even an idea at that time.
Right. And I always said, I was like, I'm never going to be one of those adults who, like, sits there and say, oh, things were so much better back when. And
No, I will.
the more I do, the more, as the days pass, I literally sit around and say, things were so much better back when.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is the power of these Instant Star minis.
Yes.
Well, thank you for providing all of that context because when I watched it, I just thought, what did I just watch? Except Jude and Tommy and Jamie, so thank you.
You are very welcome.
And that was our recap of the second season 3 mini. We'll be back next week for more. Talk to you then.
Talk to you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. The Breakdown was produced by me, Chloe, and Neon Network Production. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and listen to all episodes of The Breakdown on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next time.